At a university this size, there are always competing factors. There are all kinds of things happening on campus that are competing to be heard. But I think student government's job, and I think the reason that student government is so important, is that we have a mandate to make sure that the student need is the #1 priority. We are the voice of students, and that's kind of a complex, big task, but when you really get down to it, that's our job.
Well, I've always seen that student government had the potential to do really great things on campus. In particular, I thought it was great that it gives students the opportunity to pursue initiatives that they're really passionate about. And for me, that's always been civic engagement and getting students on campus more politically involved.
Student government can be a vehicle to change on campus. You can do as much or as little as you want, but at the end of the day, you really can make some impactful changes on student life. I worked to come up with this database to help students find a space. And so now there's about 500 rooms that are cataloged, so students will be easily able to find a room for their meeting or event.
We've worked on the Hook the Vote voter registration campaign, Politipalooza, which was the university's first civic engagement fair. Big 12 on the Hill, we sent a delegation to Washington, D.C. to lobby congressmen and senators on behalf of higher education. And we also started the Civic Engagement Council, which is a coalition of leaders from different political organizations who gather to discuss ways to get students more connected to government and the political process.
We hosted a parking and transportation town hall where hundreds of students came out and voiced their concerns with things they had issues with, and having the PTS director actually there and present and them able to get answers for some of their questions was so rewarding.
Well, we were working on creating a website that students can go on and talk about their experiences in their internship, so that other students can log on to this website and look at feedback of internships, or they could review an internship.
SureWalk is a agency of student government, and students are now in the SAC, and they walk you home to your dorm or to your apartment at night.
This is a committee that makes a lot of strategic budgeting decisions for the university, and I think it's important that there's a student in the room. I always thought that a student would help color those conversations and drive those conversations in a different direction. And so it's something that students had been asking for a while, but hadn't really been successful. We kind of reframed the ask and reframed the reasoning why there needed to be a student on the University Budget Council, and ultimately we were successful. I've been sitting on UBC since about September. It's been a really interesting experience. I've learned a lot, and I really think that having a student in the room, be it me or any other student, is going to bring a different perspective to those big strategic budgeting decisions.
We had a win week. It was about 5 days, and every day students were encouraged to go to utsg.org and look around and find this little, what we call a form. And so the form had a question about something that was in student government.
We've done a lot of work on those big picture policy issues and big picture trajectory issues of ensuring student involvement in the long term, and I'm really proud of that. On top of that, though, we've also done a lot of work in those smaller day-to-day things that are very tangible, that help make your day as a student easier.
Every day, I guess I went out and I tried to make our platform become a reality. In addition to that, we also did some really big high-level things, like getting a student on the University Budget Council and working with the president on some of the higher education issues that the school is facing.
I think one of the most important parts of our legacy this year is that we have really assured a student place at the conversation about what this university is and what it needs to become. I feel comfortable leaving office knowing that students are always going to be a part of those conversations, that we are a trusted partner and an important advocate that needs to be heard, because this university is ultimately here to serve us.